Right. Find a position you can sit in. Make sure you are warm. That is one thing I will definitely say as the mornings get a bit chillier, obviously depending on where you are in your house, but just make sure you're warm so you're not thinking about being cold. Bring in the hands to rest, perhaps onto the knees, perhaps onto the thighs, drawing the shoulders back. Allow yourself a moment just to settle back into the breath. Feeling its expanse as you draw it down into the belly and into the width of the body and the height of the spine. This morning's meditation is actually based around a social media post I put up earlier this morning, which is all about monkey bars. Perhaps less unknown fact about me is that until yesterday, I had never in my entire lifetime crossed a monkey bar. As a child, knowing that my shoulders hurt and my knees dislocated when I landed on things, I lived through fear. I wouldn't roly-poly on sports days, and I would definitely not even think about crossing a monkey bar. And I set it as one of my goals for my 30th year to do both those things. And over the last year, I have set myself mini goals that might help me get closer to the day when I could finally overcome fear and make my way all the way across. Some of those steps have been developing physical strength, choosing to invest in my future body by hiring a coach. Some of those steps have been working with a counselor on fear. And learning that instead of thinking of it as something you need to overcome, starting to see it as something that you learn to live with and share your life with. Almost like a familiar friend. Not something to fear, but instead something to be able to hold a rational conversation with. And yesterday, as I stepped up to take a hold of the monkey bars, fear definitely came knocking. And it was an opportunity to have that conversation, that I see you, I understand your concerns, but the future you are fearful of hasn't even happened yet. The ifs, buts, and maybes are just that, and I've taken every step I can to make an educated decision. And so this morning I'd like you to think about a situation perhaps in your own life. It could be a physical goal as daft as my own. It might be something more monumental, shifting jobs, careers, countries, homes. Just thinking about something where fear crops up for you. And perhaps starting to negotiate terms, the steps that you could take that would allow you to have a more rational conversation with fear. Noticing whether the steps that you're creating are large, small, whether they're really attainable or whether you've already set yourself something you think you might fail at because that's easier. See if you can just gently shrink the steps down a bit more. Notice if those steps in your mind have begun to feel like things you have to do. And shifting back to what we've been working on over the last few weeks and changing them to steps that you get to do. A goal that you get to have, steps that you get to make towards it. An awareness of fear that you get to relate to. Human experience of fear. There's something in our culture that we get to put ourselves in a position where we almost choose to feel fear. For many, that's not a choice. Come back to your initial goal and see if you can just collectively tell yourself what those steps will be to get towards it. And very gently extending the arms out in front of you, rub them hands together to generate some heat. Bringing the fingers over the eyes. Blink the eyes open behind the hands. Spread the fingers, let light back in slowly. And then draw the hands down when you feel ready. Namaste.